Hi guys, this is Zach from WatchesOnYou, and today I'm going to be taking a look at a very cool Bell & Ross GMT watch. This is the Bell & Ross BR V2-93 GMT. Now, right away, I'm going to go over this watch's 41mm stainless steel case. So the finishing on this case is done very nicely. It's got a sporty design. As you can see, it's got these polished sides and then crown guards, right? Brushed crown guards, and then you also have a polishing on the other side of the case. And it's very typical of a sports watch to do that, where you have brushed on the top and then polishing on the sides. Rolex really does that on really all their watches. And one other thing though I like about this watch is the bracelet. I love how the bracelet is kind of a bead shape to it versus a standard kind of rectangular bracelet, because it kind of makes it a little bit more unique, as a lot of watch brands kind of copy the Rolex Oyster bracelet with kind of more typical links. So this one has a nice polished center links, and then it has these nice kind of bead shaped brush links. So again, it just looks a little bit more unique than a traditional oyster-like bracelet, if you will. So the clasp on this watch is also done well. The metal is nice and thick on this part of the clasp, and then it's got nice bars going across here. Feels very nice in the hand. The action is good. It is just a standard push-button clasp, no frills attached, very easy to use, never going to come off. It's just no problems whatsoever with the clasp, very well designed. So now let's move to the dial. So the dial, as you can see, is a glossy black dial, and I really like the look of it. I also like how it looks under this nice curved crystal that provides just a cool, nice touch to it. And the white contrasting indexes against the black dial just make it very legible. You can easily just take a quick glance at this dial and really know exactly what time it is. I also like how the GMT hand is nice and bright orange. It makes it easily distinguish itself from the other hands, making it very easy to know which hands are which, and also if you need to read the GMT hand, making it very easy to do so. Now, it also says GMT in orange on the dial, so I mean, if you ever forget what hand the GMT hand is, just look at the GMT on the dial, orange. So that also provides another good just kind of pop of color to the dial, which I really like. And I like how the 12, 3, 6, and 9 on the dial are very big and legible, as those are the quarters of the halves of the day, making it just a little bit more important and easier to read and know exactly what kind of area time you are during the day. Now, I also like how the GMT bezel isn't fixed. It does move by the half hour actually, which is very similar to the Rolex GMT Master 2, and this allows you to actually track 3 time zones over just 2, because you can actually offset the GMT bezel and use it to track a 3rd time zone, which is a very useful feature. The action is very nice. I really like it. It locks down really hard, and then when you switch it, it just goes perfectly to the half hours, and it feels nice. The only downside I'd say to this bezel is that it is kind of hard to move. It's grippy enough, I'd say, but the action is a little bit tough to go through, but it does feel nice in the end. So now let's do a wrist shot. So on the wrist here, sorry, gotta move that tag out of the way. This watch feels very nice. It's your typical sports watch. I mean, the thickness is perfect. It's nice and thin. It shouldn't really catch on any of your shirts. No problem there. I love the polishing, because that makes this watch a little bit more of a, I guess, more dressy and sport watch, kind of like how you can wear a Rolex really with anything. It's going to look good no matter what. You can kind of do that with this watch. Like if you wore this with a suit, you could do it no problem. It would look absolutely great with that as well. I love the signed clasp. Right there you get a nice Bell & Ross logo. The brushing on it's great, very high quality. There's really no hair pinching or catches on it whatsoever. It feels very nice overall. I haven't felt any hot spots on my wrist, and it looks very nice. So I have a 7-inch wrist for reference, and I say the 41mm size, is absolutely perfect for a sports watch. It just fits. I think it would fit really almost anyone's wrist, and it looks great. So overall, this piece coming in at a price of $3,500 here is a pretty good value. I mean, you are getting an ETA movement in this piece, but I just think the look of this watch and the quality of everything about it is very, very nice. It feels great in the hand, it feels great on the wrist, and the movement, yes, it's a downside, but it does give some upsides, as it's going to be able to be very easy to get serviced, and it's going to be very reliable, and it's a very robust movement as well. Now, one cool aspect that I actually haven't shown yet, though, is the clear case back you get on this. So you can actually see that the one thing is, though, they did not finish it really much above what it came as in the generic staining. They didn't really put really any Cote de Genève on it or anything, which is one thing I would have definitely liked to see. Tag Heuer does that on some of their watches, and for $3,500 they could have, but it still is on the entry-level luxury Swiss market, so you wouldn't really expect a huge amount of finishing on it. It just would have been nice to see that they finished it a bit more than they did. But overall, though, the case finishing and everything is done absolutely perfectly. There's really no problems anywhere else, so I think this does provide a pretty good value for money. Especially, I love the look of that nice GMT bezel and all the different aspects about this piece. So thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.